And welcome back to Danganronpa. Last time around, we investigated the murder of Sayaka Mizono. And now we were called to go to this red velvet door. So let us enter. You're late, Mokoro. We've all been waiting for you. Bet you're afraid to be discovered as the murderer you are.
Listen to
Let's
me.
not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. Then we've all revealed the details of Makoto's crime. We are convinced I do, but didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. But then, who is the killer? Murder Sayaka? Is it really one of us?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
Mondo?
Why?
Let's do this here to kind of set up this courtroom.
Impossible.
Gotta go through this class trial thing, huh? Yes, I guess now's the time to do it. Didn't do it.
Hey.
I'm staying around here, so resolve and step into the future. Let's get started.
Got it.
I haven't decided 100% that you are the culprit just yet, but you're obviously leaning that way.
I'm
So
sorry.
in the end, I wasn't able to do any looking around or anything. Just we Sayaka will want us to find out who killed her.
What the heck?
I can't help but wonder whoever killed Sayaka is feeling right now. Well, did you find anything that might actually prove your innocence? Being so insistent, even though you obviously killed her, very impressive.
You know what I mean.
Well, I did my job. I'm counting the rest of you from here on out. School basement has become the darkened stage. We're all here, bear witness to Mr. Nike's final curtain call. So, are you ready? Oh. Let's head on in.
Well then.
Let's begin.
Yes,
Good
indeed.
idea.
Hey,
Are you scared? No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
But before it blows up to you, cover the mystery surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth. I need to uncover the truth of Sayaka's death. You need someone else to tell me to do that. Sayaka's honor? That's where I found out who the real killer is. Raise my voice and give myself courage. I turn trembling with anticipation towards the elevator. Each step forward, I can feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. When else was already in the elevator when I finally stepped on. Doors closed and the elevator started to move. The box descended with heavy clunking towards the school's basement. This is how a death row inmate feels when his time finally comes.
Oh.
That is not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment. With to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived. What do you think? Doesn't it feel like a real courtroom? Like Hollywood movie set, right? Close.
Well now.
Okay, then everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now, hurry up. Did what he said and found our seats. Seats were arranged in a giant circle, set up so everyone can see everyone else. Also made it be easy for anyone to transfer their attention and unease onto anyone else. Air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Yes, I do. Set skills. Increase damage to the opponent when his statement is destroyed. Let's go with that. Okay. And E-handbook. Troops bullets. I got the Monokuma file, struggle, the sword and the sheath. Switching rooms. Toolkit. Makoto's room's cleanliness. Sayaka's wrist. Dying message. Bathroom door frame, the door knob, nameplates, kitchen knife set, Ioi's hand account, trash duty, incinerator, burnt shirt piece, and the shattered crystal ball. Trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course.
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier.
Also, I might not talk all too much during the class trial.
Friendship penetrates?
Except to tell you to be quiet, Hifumi.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
Begin the debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. This isn't just me, everyone's lives are on the line. First non-stop debate is about to begin. Check to hear more. It's been a while, so let's go for it. As things progress, during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. Up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. It means you have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during the investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements, and use your truth bullets to blast the right one. Though if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. Press the escape key during these arguments. You can review the controls. Well then, good luck, and have fun! Evidence of a struggle.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom.
She didn't even have a chance to...
Sorry, wrong button. Okay, hang on. The music is louder than the voices, so I might just see if I try to...
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked.
Can I... Sorry, I might cut this out. There we go. Okay.
With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in.
and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
Camera was used to kill Sayaka. Kitchen knife set.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No, that's wrong. No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Can I move forward? Hi.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere, just waiting for us to find it. 'Cause I know darn well I'm not the killer. A bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Let's go for it. You can concentrate by holding down the space key. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone else says. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes a focus gauge, and if the gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will cover over time, so let your brain take a rest, no need to rush. Good luck, have fun. I think I'm gonna change the BGM up one. I think it can move up. There we go. Let's listen to that nice music. Make your arguments. I always account.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret. Nobody was in the dining hall.
No, that's wrong.
What's wrong?
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Let's go. Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea, I went back to the kitchen to wash my glass. Well, the knives was gone. You're saying the knife disappeared while you're drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Ugh, good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case! Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means, we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
No, it is
We're
not.
not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Taka.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
Taka.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone's not here? Are you talking about...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? The person who took the knife from the kitchen was... Sayaka.
Then, Sayaka is the
Yes.
one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself!
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
I'll do something that can blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? They convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Something that should have been there. First, Hangman's Gambit. Would you like to hear more? Is this one that I don't like? Advance further in the cause, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting on the flying letters in the right order. Mouse to aim and left mouse button to shoot the desired letters. Shoot the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. Gauge reach 0, or if you run out time, you fail. Good luck, have fun! Should have been seen, but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. You know what something is. Hangman's Gambit. We're just gonna say this now. I'm very bad at Wordle. Oh, right. Okay. I need it. There we go.
Now I understand. That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true. Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Let's go, Kyoko.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Struggle bathroom, and the evidence that proved it is the object the killer broke. It was the doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. Almost didn't notice at first, but is that the key point here? Bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Let's go for it. The number of weak spots will start to go up. No matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truthful and wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, also lower your trust with everyone else, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which of the weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Good luck, have fun! The music, let's go. The door frame.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
Nope, I think that's it.
Finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
But to finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it! We already know the answer.
I think you're get an ability where you can fast forward through all of this. It's not because the door was locked. No, there's a different reason entirely.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. and they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all!
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Killers convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know the door actually couldn't be locked. The most important detail about the scene was the crime they didn't know was the crime took place in my room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you
don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way.
What way would that be?
They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone
Ifumi?
doesn't know his place.
Shush.
Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
She asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. Because... switching rooms.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, it won't open your door for anyone. Make sure it's you. Ask me, it won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Something I want to talk to you about just as 2 in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Okay. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
In that note, Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
You feel me? Shush.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Off the music. Let's go. Dorm nameplates. Okay.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
I see 2 possible ones. Let's. The reason for that is it has to be because of the switch between my room and Sayaka's room.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly.
The room with Makoto.
No, that's wrong. Break.
The nameplates on my and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
then
didn't voice
who
that.
did it?
Only one person could switch the nameplates.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
I'm talking about just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates, make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Only my wrist, there's no doubt. Sayaka's wrist. Yep, there's good.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? Well, that's Sayaka's death. That's what we need to make clear. But more, would you like to learn? Sure. Use on-set debates. Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your cylinder. Just like with weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually be used to refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you have to combine the right truth bullet with the right weak spots to refute each statement. Come with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press Q to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release Q to cycle through each bullet. Or you can use the mouse wheel. If logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded in the cylinder. For this time, logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well then, good luck, have fun!